Diversity, the unique differences of each individual. In our world, everyone is different. We all have different cultural backgrounds, religion, political beliefs, and so much more. But not everyone accepts our differences. Looking back, hate has always been present during this time. Even after years of people standing up for their rights and showing that we are all equal, people still can't see that being different doesn't mean we all don't have the same heart on the inside. Our world is not so kind by putting labels and stereotypes on certain races and ethnicity. Muslims were labeled as terrorists. Blacks were labeled as a threat.
Oh my God! This was shot by an officer after he held his hands in the air.
George Floyd's neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds.
Hispanics were labeled as illegal.
Trump's deporting your illegal cousins today.
Your staff is speaking Spanish to customers when they should be speaking English.
Great, you're going back to Mexico.
Asians were labeled as a disease.
Go back to whatever fucking Asian country you belong in.
And so many more cultures, races, religions, sexualities, and so much more are labeled and stereotyped. All those stereotypes and labels hurt not just ourselves, but our nation. We have every right to speak our opinion, embrace our culture, love who we are, and spread awareness to our nation. This month being Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month, I would like to dive deeper into our community stories, specifically Asian Americans.
This video is not about my story, but others, so enjoy.
I am 100% Filipino.
Hello, my name is Jaina, and my nationality is Filipino.
Hi guys, I'm Kevin, and I am full Vietnamese.
I am full Filipino, 100%. Period.
I am a half Filipina.
My name is Christian Walsh and I'm Japanese.
Hi! I'm Maxie.
I'm Alana.
And we are Filipino.
I am a Vietnamese.
Hi, I'm Isabel. Hi, I'm Tori. And we're Filipino American.
Hi guys, my name is Roxanne Ramos. I'm Filipino American.
I'm Vietnamese from my mom's side of the family, and I'm Chinese from my dad's side of the family.
Filipino.
My nationality is half Filipino, half Turkish.
Chinese.
Hi, my name is Alyssa. I'm a mixed race between white and Filipino.
My name is Shelina Santaramana and I am Filipino American.
My nationality is Chinese. I was adopted from China.
One Asian stereotype that I heard a lot growing up was about how people would say, oh, you must be good at doing your own nails because you're Asian.
That all Asians are doctors.
Like, we're really smart apparently. We get good grades, you know, always go to universities, and how our parents are strict about grades and all that. Not always true, you know.
Your eyes are too small or your eyes are too slanted type of thing. People would make jokes about that. In particular for me, my eyes like disappear completely when I smile, so everyone's like, where did your eyes go? So that was definitely a joke that I heard growing up. It wasn't a great joke, but it definitely affected me as a kid.
An Asian stereotype I hear a lot is that we are very smart in academics.
You're good at math, and a recent one is if you're Asian, you like K-pop.
One stereotype that stands out for me is that when people say Asians eat everything or anything, I'm aware that there are some countries or Asian countries that does eat those animals, but then there are some that actually doesn't, and it just bothers me because like people can be so close-minded and like caught up in the hype of like the Asian stereotypes.
Asians eat dogs, which is not true at all.
We're supposed to be proficient in playing a musical instrument, or that we're supposedly bad drivers.
Asians are always super smart and like good at math and like can excel in pretty much everything.
We have really small eyes, and if you put tooth floss in front of our eyes, we can't see anything.
I'm definitely thankful for everything that my family taught me throughout the years, whether that be through our food, our language, our traditions, and everything. But there are definitely many times growing up where it was difficult to be an Asian American. There were just many times where I found myself wanting to change who I was and not fully embracing my culture because I wanted to be more like the people around me, like the people in the media, because there wasn't a lot of Asian representation. It was definitely pretty sad at some points, like now that I think about it.
I grew up in like ethnically diverse neighborhood, but there was a lot of Latino Americans and some white Americans, and like my first best friend ever was half black, half Latino. But I got boiled, I got picked on a lot, you know, because I could never pronounce certain words correctly, especially at school. I got handcuffed to a pole one time. I've been beaten up quite a bunch of times, which is one of the reasons why I did martial arts, you know. I started getting beat up.
Growing up as a British Asian was very, not hard, but like it was strange at first. So obviously I wasn't born here. I moved here when I was 4 and I didn't know how to speak English, so I got bullied for that and I found it really difficult to communicate with people. I would just hate school, but then over the years I learned how to speak English, learned how to communicate with people.
Growing up Asian American for us was a positive experience because we had a lot of Filipino family friends, so it was always comfortable for us to be around and have all that support system.
I always say it's a privilege, it's an honor. Your existence is a love letter to your ancestors, that they survived for you to thrive. That's kind of what I always tell myself whenever I'm like feeling down about Asian American, but nonetheless it's a privilege to be here, and I truly feel like I'm my ancestors' wildest dreams.
I was like expected to be just like super smart, and it like kind of pressured me into being who I am now, sort of a perfectionist. I always try and do my best in everything, but when my best isn't my best, it's just hard for me to live with the standard of trying to be perfect and never being perfect.
Growing up Asian American was normal. There was nothing else for me to compare it to. However, for a long time I didn't embrace my Filipino heritage because none of my friends had a similar background. Over time, I've grown more confident and fully embraced my heritage.
I know some people are like, oh, my parents are so strict. Mine aren't that bad because they just care about my school and they care that I get work done. They just care about my grades, and I think that's good because it helps me a lot to stay focused and stay on track. That's gonna help me get into colleges if I get good grades. So I'm really thankful that they do that for me.
It was a pretty positive experience, but growing up, because I'm third-gen American, I would feel like I don't fit into either group. So sometimes I don't feel Asian enough because I don't know a lot about my culture, unfortunately, but I also feel like I don't fit in with some of my white friends at school because obviously I don't look like them on the outside.
I love it. Being Filipino, I mean. I take pride in Filipino culture and in everything. The food, the traditions, and movies. I even get excited when I found out an artist I like is Filipino or half Filipino, Pete Bruno Mars. Growing up as an Asian American is interesting because you get all the benefits of living in America. But it gets hard at times, mostly when I was younger, I guess. Nowadays, I'm just really proud of all my Filipino heritage because I receive a lot of blessings and lessons from it.
As an Asian American, I was always known as the whitest Asian people I've ever met because of how much I didn't really embrace my culture. I felt like I was too Americanized. Even when I was a little kid, grew up, I was really shy, and my teachers would assume I wouldn't speak because I didn't understand them because I spoke a different language. And that's kind of the reason why my parents never taught me Tagalog growing up.
Would definitely include traveling to California to see my mom's side of the family because we would be celebrating my great grandma's birthday. We would have like a mini family reunion for her birthday like every year, every other year, and it's definitely a lot of fun to just like hang out with my cousins and my relatives and like see everyone and just like celebrate and enjoy some good food.
Going to the Philippines with our grandparents was really special to us because they showed us where they grew up and a lot of other fun places.
My favorite childhood memory has to be all the night festivals I went to when I was a kid. I tried new food and I played games all night.
My favorite childhood memory was going to Phuoc Loc Pa and seeing dragons during Vietnamese New Year's, where they would go around and perform, and there was also martial arts and there were firecrackers.
Back when I was in Philippines, I was with my my first cousins. We were just like hanging out, chilling, karaoke, playing basketball, dancing, eating, just having fun in general. And it's my favorite because I don't have any siblings and like I'm really close with my first cousins. So like every time I go home, it felt like I never left, you know, like there'd always be that childhood memories coming back. We try to like reenact those moments, just reminisce.
Probably visiting the Philippines for the first time, meeting my Lola for the first time, and just seeing where my mom grew up was really nice.
Probably have to be when I went to this prayer vigil at my aunt's house. And you know, we'd pray the rosary, but then this man came and there were a bunch of rose petals and he blessed them with holy water. And all of a sudden, slowly, the image of Mary started appearing on the petals.
When I went on a vacation to Hawaii when I was about 8, pretty much my entire mom's side of the family, which is my Japanese side, lives in Hawaii. I just remember having like a really good time there. We went to the beach like every day. We had barbecues. I got to visit with family I never really see very often. I think what I liked about it the most was that I got to spend time with like people that were actually related to me. There's not a lot of people in my close family. I only have mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, my grandma on my dad's side, and a single aunt. There's no one else. But like getting to see them and all that, it's comforting.
When I was little, my dad would sing me like these little Filipino songs, but that would definitely be one of my favorite memories because like he was kind of singing me songs that he used to hear as a kid.
My favorite childhood memories were New Year's Eve celebrations with all my titos, titas, and cousins together playing festive games for money.
My mom would throw any harmless object that would be on her reach. If I got in trouble, I'm pretty sure she would throw this highlighter.
Probably like my 10th birthday. Yeah, my 10th birthday was pretty amazing. We had like a big water gun war. That was when my neighborhood still had so many children, you know. Had so many friends still. Everyone still lived there. Had like a big all-out water gun war. It was continuous too. It was like for 3 days. The next day we just got back to our regular teams and started fighting each other again. Water guns, water balloons. It was pretty fun.
Probably when we're celebrating Lunar New Year, like everybody come together.
Growing up Filipino, any party has been a great memory. Filipinos love to party, whether it's karaoke or good food. We love to bond over anything and just come together as a family. It's always been a great time.
So basically, my favorite childhood memory was going back to the Philippines. That was definitely fun. I mean, seeing all the cousins and family from my mom and dad's side, that's pretty fun.
Playing outdoors with friends and cousins.
So I had a friend and I like her, and like all the memory with her, it was like perfect to me.
Getting a Jeep when I was little and thought I was the coolest person ever, which looking back on those photos probably wasn't.
Going to weddings because I get to see cousins that I've never met before or that I've probably seen before, but I was too young to remember.
I definitely did hear a lot of people like make jokes or make fun of me for being Asian or bringing up different Asian stereotypes and using them against me. One of the biggest things that stuck with me and that I found really hurtful was when people would say like, oh, you're pretty for an Asian. I just found that so disrespectful and rude because to me it's as if like they're saying like, oh, in any other context you're not pretty or you're not pretty enough, but like you're pretty for an Asian. Like, what is that supposed to mean?
Growing up, we were lucky enough to be surrounded by a good community where people understood our culture and our family background, so we were lucky enough not to experience any discrimination or hate on our Asian American identity.
I've been here for 2 years and I have encountered several, but I think the message is you don't need to care about it if you can't avoid it because you're perfect the way you are.
Growing up in Hawaii, I'm surrounded by other Filipinos as well, especially in the community where I live in. There's a lot of other Filipinos, so we kind of adjusted to how the lifestyle is here. I'm fortunate enough to not experience any hate.
Whenever we greet our grandparents, we bless them, and during the Christmas season, we hang up the parole, which is a Christmas star we hang on our front door.
One of my family's traditions during New Year's, we hang a little thing of grapes on our like windows and doors around the house as a sign of like good luck going into the new year. You know, here's my window and my grapes hanging from this past New Year.
Some traditions that my family and I have is that every year for Lunar New Year, we would always visit 2 to 3 temples to honor our ancestors, and we would go to like 3 to 4 of my family or relatives' houses house to go celebrate the new year, and we would get lots of money and play lots of games, and overall it's a very fun time and I look forward to that every year.
Every Christmas, my family would get together and we would have like a big family Christmas party.
On all of our birthdays, my mom likes us all to go to church so we could be extra blessed. Oh, there's a tradition in my mom's side of the family where every Christmas we would have these little talent shows, and all of the cousins would perform a song or do a dance, and you know, depending on how much the older family members like it, they would throw money at us. So
every New Year, we go over to my grandma's house, and she makes this big New Year's soup called ozoni. It's a mixture of like chicken broth, and it has like vegetables and stuff in it. And there's always this big mochi ball. It signifies good luck.
I remember when I was a kid, we would used to have like a lot of parties. We would always like be so loud.
For Lunar New Year, we usually clean the whole house, like every corner of it.
My family is probably more traditionally Filipino than any other Asian family. My mom always says that even if you leave the house, you might be in America, but under this roof, you're still in the Philippines, and she lives by that. Traditions involve around, of course, going to church every Sunday, and then going grocery shopping, and then eating out. Just in that simple way, I get to bond with my family, and so that's always been a really great tradition we had.
I don't know if this is a Filipino thing, an Asian thing. Every time there's a death anniversary, we'd always like leave food there for them to eat, for the person that died to eat. You know, we just leave food there, candles, etc.
Celebrating Christmas from September all the way through December.
Christmas, we would have a big family dinner, and during Easter we would have a little Easter getaway and just spend the whole weekend together.
Our traditions for Vietnamese New Year's is to go to the Central Florida Fairgrounds and help out by selling food. And for Chinese New Year's, my grandma would have like a large table, and she would display all these different Chinese New Year treats, and she'd have incense like around the house and outside of the house too.
Eating noodles on your birthday to see if you have a long life or a short life.
We do a lot of Chinese New Year's stuff when it comes around. We love to give red envelopes. We love to celebrate with an organization that they adopt me from. So yeah, that's pretty cool. That's what we do every single year. And another tradition that my parents always do is until I turn 18, they have given me a gift every single birthday from China, which is really cool. Like I've gotten a jade bracelet and stuff like that each year and stuff.
Majority people that I know, like they would be so disgusted by this food, but I love dinuguan. Like I just love it.
Lumpia, I love my mom's lumpia.
My favorite Asian dish is gamtam, or broken rice with chicken and eggs.
Lumpia, and mine is pancit.
Telling you right now, I love food in general. I like pretty much like a bunch of Asian food. I like Filipino food, Chinese food, Vietnamese.
I have to say kare rice, which is curry rice. It's a Japanese dish where you just put curry on rice. It's delicious.
My favorite dish would probably be kare kare.
Kare kare, hands down, the best dish. My mom cooks the best kare kare. I love the meat, bok choy, and the sauce. There's no meat. I just love putting the sauce on top of my rice with some bok choy. It's so good.
I really like sushi and any type of dish that has noodle, like pad thai, pho.
Dumplings.
I like the egg rolls. They taste nice. They're thick.
Pancit.
For sushi, specifically the ones with salmon and avocado, and dumplings, specifically the shrimp ones, which are called hakao in Cantonese.
I love halo-halo. It's like being Filipino. You throw a little of this, a little of that, and you're not really sure if it's gonna taste good, but eventually it just all comes together really harmoniously.
Favorite dessert would probably be leche flan.
Leche flan or mochi. I love mochi.
Ube ice cream!
My favorite Asian dessert has to be jia ba mao, which is translated to 3 colors or rainbow dessert, and basically it has like mung bean, beans, and jelly in it, and it's super delicious.
I don't really like halo-halo, but I like ube ice cream, and I like bubble tea if that counts.
What is it called? It's like the sticky sweet rice. Suman, that's what it's called. I love that.
Really don't have a favorite, but I love mooncakes. That's number one.
My mom would always bake these cupcakes, and it's called puto flan. It's like a cupcake, and then there's leche flan on the bottom and an ube flavored cupcake on top.
I have a few. I really like leche flan, which is like, it's in a lot of other cultures too, like Hispanic culture. It's like a cake and it tastes like caramel to me. Ube, which is like purple yam, or like it tastes like taro. And I really like boba tea.
Bingsu, which is Korean shaved ice because they have red beans and they add condensed milk.
Boba milk tea bars that you get from Ranch 99. So there's like ice cream on the other side, and then there's like a milk tea ice cream flavor with boba pearls in it, and it's so good.
Probably egg custard, like little tarts, because, oh, so good.
I love it during the winter, like in Seafood City. I was in the Philippines and I think we were on our way to Apari, and my cousin bought this bottle from the Taho people, and then I tried it and I noticed it was the sauce that they use in Taho.
Personally, I find it really difficult to understand why so many people are still purposely being racist and disrespectful towards other people just because of their race. At the end of the day, we are all human. You know, we're all here just trying to live and survive and go about our days. And the fact that someone would purposely be hurtful towards another person because of their race simply amazes me.
I just think it's pretty dumb how, like, people generalize Asians. Like, when you say Asian, immediately you're gonna think, like, oh, Chinese. That's usually the case.
Personally, I feel like Asian racism is just as bad as being racist to like any other race, because no race is better than the other. Every race is equal. Instead of like hating another race, I think we should educate ourselves by learning more about that race, and then eventually like becoming open-minded about it and why they do these things, you know, because every race has different teachings.
I feel like Asian racism stems from an unwillingness to understand our culture, whether it's the food that we eat, the tones of our languages.
I'm not surprised that it happened. You're living in a space that wasn't created for you. You know, the US has always been idealistic and has always had values rooted in imperialism. This space wasn't created for Asian Americans, and we've always had to fight through it ourselves. You know, Asians are always called the model minority, but it's not like just because our struggles have been different from other minority groups doesn't mean that they're not valid.
Definitely don't like it, but what can you do? You can't stop everybody. Just don't mind it and don't let it affect you, because at the end of the day, you're incredibly blessed with your heritage and better than anyone making racism remarks at you.
I feel that Asians have always been sort of like the punching bag for like racism, because it seems to be so easy to make fun of Asians for whatever reason. It stems back from even like my childhood and stuff. It just seems like there's so many things that people joke about with Asians, and Asians over the years have just seemed to like accept it as like, okay, yeah, well, we get it, haha, very funny. That might be why I don't really remember receiving any hate growing up, because it just seemed normal.
I think it is something that has been going on for a long time, and even if we time and time again try to stop it, people would always find a way to continue to hate.
The fact that there is an increase in racism towards Asians because of COVID-19, it's hurtful. It hurts because people are blaming this pandemic on Asians and telling them to go back to their country and take their disease with them, or people have been assaulted for being Asian. Like, in this day and age, it just makes me wonder how people can just easily take whatever they hear from the internet or the media and just use that against someone.
So I feel like it's a normal thing, and it's really unfair for some people to experience that. As a nation, I try to not start a fight. If we all start a fight, it's not gonna be good. So just forgive them, understand for them.
Increased racism due to COVID-19 is also wrong and uncalled for, and racist comments and acts are not going to get rid of the virus, so we should all just do our part and stay home
and stay safe.
The increase of Asian racism due to COVID-19 is awful, as people of all backgrounds have been affected from the pandemic. It is a disease that should be connected or blamed on one race. I hope that in the aftermath of this tragedy, it is an event that brings our world closer together.
A lot of Chinese people have experienced racism because of that. Like, some people aren't even going to their businesses. Some people are saying they're not being let into businesses because they're Chinese. I think it's pretty dumb, because it's just like, you're going to be racist against an entire race just because it originated in China. It makes no sense. It really doesn't make any sense at all.
I feel like people are making a lot of assumptions that all Asians can pass the coronavirus, which is not necessarily true, because that's just an assumption that people make. Also, I feel particularly hurt as well because people are making negative stereotypes about the coronavirus onto Asians.
I've heard so many stories of how like kids are bullying Asian American kids just because they think that they spread this virus. I really hope all this like stuff stops soon, honestly.
When America goes through any sort of diversity, their first instinct is to be hateful, to be spiteful, because they're scared, and I can't blame them. But that doesn't technically mean you should direct any anger or any hate towards a certain group. That's not how we should approach adversity. We should, if anything, come together instead of trying to push each other apart. I would say just continue to combat it by showing people that we're not like that, showing people that the stereotypes aren't true, and learning to come up with new ways to combat it, and show them that the Asian American group is strong and nothing is going to tear us down.
People need to chill. I guess not everybody will understand what another country does on the other side of the world, and that doesn't give anybody the right to make remarks at other countries, especially in general. Yes, things go wrong, but that means that the country has to learn. And if they don't, that doesn't mean make racism comments towards them. That means we need to try to help them in many ways we can.
I hate seeing these posts about people getting harassed and people getting beat up and spit on, and I try to like spread the awareness, but people are still doing it and it sucks. One of my titas, she was going to the store and people were just harassing her that somebody had to escort her out. For real, people are this immature.
If I could go back in time, this is definitely what I'd tell my younger self. Never be ashamed of your culture. Be proud of the person that you are and the person that you are becoming. If you are struggling now, I want you to always remember to always look on the bright side and remember that everything will be okay. You are stronger than you ever imagined, and you are beautiful. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise or ever bring you down.
Don't be afraid to be yourself and embrace your culture. Your culture is what makes you unique, and the sooner you learn to embrace it, the better.
Why does racism even have to exist? Because like, you shouldn't be judged differently just because of your race. And especially now where Asian racism is increasing, I just find it so stupid and unnecessary. It really makes me question humanity, and it makes me feel unsafe. But not only for myself, but for my family and friends as well.
Be positive, love yourself, ignores the hate.
If you're an Asian American, British Asian, or any other Asian, my message for you is to stay strong. I know it's very tough for us Asians right now due to like what's happening. We will get through it. Let's support each other. Let's be there for each other, and together we will rise again.
I just want to say, keep on doing you, boo. As an Asian American myself, I feel like we get downplayed a lot. We need to start rising up against the stereotypes and being comfortable in who we are in our own skin. We have to be proud of where we're from, be proud of who we are as a person, what makes us who we are as a person. And I just feel like you can do anything you set your mind to, period. So you go on out and do just that.
Be true to who you are, love your heritage. Don't try to steer away from it because it's who you are.
You don't have to be embarrassed by the way you are. Be who you are, bro. You guys are so amazing. And all of us are smart, except for me.
Always be proud of who you are. Your Asian roots and your American roots make up you, you know? And your parents have worked so hard to come here. They've made so many sacrifices in order for them to have a better future and for you to have a better future.
My advice for Asian Americans is to embrace who you are and not be afraid to introduce others to your culture. Our heritage is what makes us unique and keeps us connected to our family and country. By sharing our culture with others, more people can understand our traditions and hopefully racism can decline.
I wanted to say to all the Asian Americans during this pandemic is to stay true to yourself, be happy always, and love yourself and others.
I just want to say there's no need to be ashamed of being Asian. Being Asian is, I find it really prideful. It's so cool to know that I'm something else than, because I stem from German and Irish and also stem from Japanese, which is really cool because I get to experience my culture with my family and dive into like what it means to be a Japanese person. Just like being mixed with any other race, you get to experience different cultures, you get to experience different backgrounds.
The message that I have for future Asian Americans or any Asian American kids watching, just be yourself. And again, just remember that your existence is a love letter to your ancestors. They fought for you to be here, and that in itself is a privilege that you should be proud of, and just continue to be strong because your ancestors have been strong for hundreds of years and you're no different. You're going to continue to be strong.
Never be ashamed of your heritage. There are tons of people that have come before and hopefully tons of people that will come after you. The least that you can do for them is be proud and grateful for them, because whether you like it or not, there have been a lot of sacrifices made for you and love given to you.
Be true to yourself and know your identity. Be proud that you are Asian American because Asians have contributed so much to what America is today. They help shape the world you are living in.
Just do your best and you don't need to care about the haters.
My advice to other Asian Americans is to not be ashamed of your culture, but to embrace it because it's something that makes you very unique and your culture has so many great aspects to it that you don't want to lose.
It's so beautiful being Asian. You can have family all over the world and you wouldn't even know. Embrace it. You're beautiful.
I am Asian American.
I am Asian American.
I am an 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 Asian American.
I am Asian American.
I am Asian American.
I am Asian American.
I'm an Asian American.
I am Asian American.
I am an Asian American.
I am Asian American.
I am Asian American. The AAPI is beautiful, so I'd like to name each of the nationalities that make up the API, Asian and Pacific Islands. Thank you for watching this short film, and I know this film is long overdue since Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month was last month. And due to the recent events of the Black Lives Matter movement, I decided to hold off on uploads so Black creators and also the movement could be the center of attention. Racism should not be happening in the 21st century. It's been something that's been relevant for many years, and it's so sad that racism is still a thing, and we should all just be created equal. And I know, very cheesy, I know, but there's not really much I could say. Also, I'd like to publicly apologize for the last short film I posted, which was called Chinese Virus, in which it was a short film showcasing Asian racism, and it caused a lot of stir. I realized that I did make a mistake, and I really do apologize for that film, and I did not mean to offend anyone, and I want to say that I am not saying that Asian racism is the only relevant thing in the 21st century. Racism and everything else related to hate is relevant in the 21st century, and I just happen to be Asian, and I wanted to spread awareness, and I did say in the video actually that the whole purpose of me posting that video was for the Heritage Month, and I didn't mean to offend anyone, and I really am sorry. I never really ever posted on YouTube about serious events in the whole entire world. I only posted serious things about my personal life, but I never posted something about something so common that happens now, which is racism. I want to say thank you to everyone that was in this video, and also to the entire team that helped me with this video. And I know I am a small YouTuber, but I did have a lot of people help me out. If you did not see, there's a variety of people in this video, and I know there's a lot of Filipinos. I just happen to know more Filipinos. I hope people take this short film to heart. There is no sort of hate towards anyone. I am really trying hard to put out a message there that we are all equal. We should all embrace each other's cultures and just love each other, because it's been way long overdue that we should be stirring hate against each other And it just really hurts me that racism is still a freaking thing that happens in this society, and it shouldn't be. Saying that, there are resources below to help during the Black Lives Matter movement. There's ways to donate, there's petitions to sign, there's other resources to help out. And if you can't go to a protest, that is so okay. You can still do all the resources below. I really hope you guys enjoy this short film, and I'm sorry I'm rambling, but I really just wanted to put it out there for you guys in words. So I will see you guys in my next video, and bye.